so when I watch the films, there is something that I think there's a link missing, because even though I agree with the fact that, you know, if there's everything for everybody, then everybody's happy, because they don't have to worry about you know, providing to get the food. Now, I think that there will be a point where people will want a little more than the other, because I think it's a little bit in our nature, and I think we got to this rotten point because this escalates, just like how the microphone and the camera was built. You know, if I take a little bit from him, then I'm a little greedy, then it makes him a little greedy, and I just don't think that machines can control these things. I think in the end there has to be some goodwill person that drives this thing.
That person has to direct the machine's program. Is that what you mean?
Right. Yeah. So who's in?
It's the question, how do machines make decisions to protect people? Is that your question?
Sure. Yes.
Okay, let's go there. I want to give everybody a chance to answer.
Yeah, I know.
So here's how it works. I can design a model airplane, and I can move the controls and make it do a loop and barrel roll and land. Today, you can put a chip on it, and it'll take off, do a loop, barrel roll, without me controlling it, if I put that chip in there. You know, and chips can hold hundreds of different maneuvers. But if that model airplane is coming in for landing, and the ground is split, it'll fall in the split and turn over, because I didn't put a sensor on that plane that scans the ground. You know what that means? If it scans the ground as a split, it'll go and land elsewhere. Machines are as smart or as dumb as the designer. Depends on what you know about machines. For example, a guy from Paramount came over and said, "Can you make three-dimension movies without glasses?" I said, "Yes." "And how do you know you can do it?" "I've been trying to do it for years, because I know what 3D is. Most people don't. They say 3D, that's third dimension. That doesn't tell you what it is. 3D is observed by two eyes. With one eye, you can't observe 3D, only two dimensions. If you don't understand that, cover your eye for a second.
I'm a physicist.
Cover one eye with your eye. Now tell me when these fingers are touching.
No.
Now take your hand. You
Just
understand?
perception.
The eye, one eye can't see the difference, so they look like they're in line with one eye. But it takes two eyes. If you know what the third dimension is, you can think about a way of doing it. But if you don't have what they call an operational definition, maybe you've never heard that term, a description of an object, like we call that a projector, because it projects an image. Well, that isn't what it is. We use words. We say he's a good person or she's a good person. Very few people say, what do you mean by good? Well, she gave $1,000 to an orphanage. I say, how much money does she have? She has about $4 million. I said, that's not very good. If you only have $3 and you give $2, you're a much better person. So I have to know what they mean by good person. So you have to check every word a person uses and show them. Now there's a book called The Tyranny of Words. Those of you that are interested in learning how bad language is, how poor it is as a means of communication. Language and Thought and Action by a writer named Hayakawa. If you get that information, you're better able to think about words. So you think you're talking to other people. You're not. You're talking to them. So in other words, I recommend that you get those books. Let's have another question from somebody else. Yes.
I meet many people who want to know something about Venus project, but all the time they want to know how to get there. And the Venus project is of course wonderful. Everybody of us would like to reach this. But every time to have an idea to reach there are two different things. Important is, do we have any kind of plan or idea how we can get from here to there?
Well, we're working on that right now, because first people have to understand this direction and understand it well. We also have plans to do a first city, And within that first city, hopefully, if we can do it the way we want, it would be the planning center for the next city, where people would be planning the automated systems and improving the next city. We would have people from all over the world come and live in the city and understand the advantages and go back to their country and build another one. You can build it, kind of mass-produce these cities, but always improving it. We're also making films. Peter Joseph is coming out with another film that'll reach more of the general public, and we have strategies of what to do after that. We wanted to do a major motion picture ourselves. We want to do a lot of motion pictures because motion pictures get to people quicker and help change them and help. We want to show that what life would be like in a resource-based economy. That's what we advocate. And then show how we get from here to there. There has to be a lot of information out there, and that's where we count on people as well. Because if they don't understand that things are falling apart and that there is a tremendous urgency for this, if people, we feel that these systems are falling apart today, and people don't know what direction to work towards. There's a lot of people out there, the activists, that are complaining about this system, but they have no alternative. There's a lot of people like who are trying to save the whales, save the forest, save the environment, save the starving children, but they're trying to do it within a system that's causing more pollution and more starving people and more deprivation of the environment. You can't do patchwork in this system. This is an entirely new system, and if people don't take the effort to learn about it and try and talk to others about it, and do whatever they can to get this information out there, it will not happen. So a very important part of the transition is to work at it, and that's what will help. We have lots of plans, but we, at this time, are not in a position to do it. We're in the monetary system. We need funding to do the cities, to do the movies, to do activism even. So if you don't donate, if you don't work at it, if you don't learn about it first, then nothing will happen at all, because we can't make it happen. We have a lot of Zeitgeist members, they're working their butts off, but not enough yet, so.
Right now, we still got about half a journey to do. We're going to France next, and we're going back to England, and we're going to Canada, and all these people want to know what can we do about it. And so what we offer them is what to do about it. You have to have meetings once a week, discuss things, look at our books, our videotapes, and look at our website. There you have thousands of questions and answers. I can't, in 2 hours, turn you around. I know I can't. Look at our website, pick up the information of how it works. For example, I think I told some of you that we have pavements that turn up to prevent accidents. We have sensors on automobiles, so you can't hit another car, not drive safely. Other cars on the road, drive safely. That does nothing unless we build it into the car. You understand? So we don't give kids grades in school. Once you do that, you make jealousy and envy. So we don't do that. We give them a physical first and make sure they're all right, nothing wrong with their brains. So you have to do a lot of work first. We don't, if we build a dam, for example, in the New World, that dam, if it doesn't have a spillway so the fish can get up to the spawning grounds, you're cutting out life in the upper portion of the dam. So today they build a dam. That isn't enough. You have to build a dam to take care of the fish so they can swim up to get to the spawning grounds. When we design a dam, we put a bunch of engineers on it, and there's another group of engineers that study the negative retroaction of the dam. What does it do that hurts? Well, it stops the tributaries, the little rivers, and the beavers stop building dams. The water table drops. The trees die on the mountains. Computers can tell us 5 years from now what will happen if we build a dam here. Today they don't do that. We don't dump stuff into the oceans because the fish and the whales die. They keep swimming ashore. But people were so ignorant in the past, they didn't know certain things. And they saw some men with a gleaming halo around their head. And they thought they were holy men. The truth is, if you get the book called Anomalies and Curiosities in Medicine, there are skin diseases that are luminescent. So if you got scalp disease, your head would glow at night. See, that man's a holy man. People are super uninformed. They're not well enough informed so they project their own values. You understand? That's why you have prisons, war, because people don't know there are other ways to solve problems. One more question.
I believe that different people have different expectations. So, in your world, in your vision, how do you expect that everybody that has different expectations, how do you plan to solve it?
Different expectations about what?
About life. People that like to lead, people that don't like to lead, people that like blue, people that like red. So
People like blue, they can paint all their insides with the interior blue.
in that
Like red, they can paint it all
for
red.
sure. But for example, people that like to lead and people that don't like to lead. So
It would be, they'd be helped in the future. It's just like he said, some people are greedy. They're greedy because they grow up in an environment where there's deprivation and scarcity, and for them to be greedy means that they get something out of it. And they're admired when they can accumulate a huge house and many cars. In the future, in a resource-based economy, when you get all goods and services available for no charge, and you can just go to the access center and get something, if somebody picks up 6 refrigerators, there'd be something wrong with them. They can't use 6 refrigerators. They'd be helped. First, before they come into the city, they go to an, don't let it scare you, an orientation center, just where they learn how the city works and how you can take out what you want. Just like when you go to learn how to fly, you get in a dummy plane and learn how to use the stick and learn how to take care of the engine and check for the water and the gasoline or the, you know, and then you learn little by little. You don't just go up in the plane. Same when you go into the city. You learn the different value system within the city. So there'd be no need for greed. It would be something, an archaic behavior that is a carryover once you learn how the new system works. And if you have different preferences, if you like to fish, you can go fish. If you like to, but people would have a tremendous range and a tremendous choice and a tremendous range of education. And once they have many, many options, we don't think that they just want to fish.
I just want to say this, that the machines do not control people. All they control is production and distribution of goods. Make sure that it's available. They do not control people. They control factories, production lines, order materials. There are machines today in modern industrial plants that sense the ball bearings, and a month before they wear out, it orders ball bearings before the ball bearings wear out. But in the future, we'll have shaft floating in magnetic field, no ball bearings, and no wear. If it's floating in a magnetic field, there's no wear, no lubrication. You don't need ball bearings. So we move so far ahead. There's so much wonderful stuff that can be done to elevate the lives of all the world's people. We're so far behind technology today, it's unbelievable. And the nation that can't visualize the future will be bypassed by other nations that can. Yes.
How do we want to prevent people to step on the path of destruction? For example, every goods are accessible to everybody. So I go to the access center because I like a lot of colors and I want to have a firework. And
You don't want to have a what?
a firework. Firecraft, you know, for like